Thank you for ordering your tree or hedging from Habitat Aid. We work with a top quality community of small British suppliers and conservation charities, so you can feel doubly good about using us. This small video shows what to do with your plants to make sure they get the best possible start. The method of planting the 1- and 2-year-old trees we typically sell is similar to that for hedge whips, so we're covering them together. Before your order arrives, make sure you have either physically removed all the grass and weeds in a 1 metre diameter around the planting spot, or sprayed them off with a non-residual herbicide the summer before planting. For a hedge, clear a 1 metre strip. Most of our plants are delivered bare root rather than in a pot, which means they have a better chance of survival and quick establishment. It also means they need to be dormant when they're moved and replanted. We'll tell you when we can deliver them, which will be November to March, depending on the weather. When your plants are delivered, please check the delivery note, but don't unwrap the package. You then have 3 options. If you can plant immediately, that's great. If you want to plant in a couple of days' time, then leave the package wrapped up in a cool, frost-free place, like a shed or garage. If you have to wait longer, then heel the plants in, that is to say, unwrap them and pop them in a hole or trench temporarily. When you unwrap the plants, do be careful, particularly when cutting any twine. Once you've opened the packaging, don't leave bare roots exposed to air for any longer than you can avoid. Even a few minutes outside their packaging can dry them out. If I'm planting several plants, I plonk them in a bucket of water for a short while until I get around to them. We're just popping these ornamental salix into the bucket while we plant the apples. This will stop the roots drying out. We're not going to leave them in there for longer than 10-15 minutes though. Not only are younger plants more likely to succeed, but they're much easier to plant than more mature specimens too. Don't dig holes for them ahead of time, which will just fill up with water. Most of the time you just need to dig a slit or a T. Wiggle the spade around a bit if necessary. In goes the plant, then tread in. Make sure the roots are under the surface of the ground, but don't plant them too deeply. If it's a fruit tree which has been grafted, make sure the graft is well above the earth. If the soil's a bit iffy, you can also add bone meal or a mycorrhizal mixture to help them along. The new plant won't need any support, and in fact will develop a better root system without staking. You might have rabbits though, so a cane and spiral is a good idea. For individual trees, if there are deer about, you'll need something beefier like a forest tree guard. We sell a 1.2 metre size, which should do the trick. We had an orchard at our last house which was grazed by acrobatic sheep. That meant larger scale homemade wire and wooden shelters for the trees. Ask us for details. The other thing you'll need to protect your new prized trees from is competition from surrounding weeds and grass, which is the biggest killer of new trees. I tend to do this either mechanically by weeding or chemically using non-residual herbicide, but you can use mulch of some description. We sell a nice biodegradable mat for individual trees as well as plastic sheets for hedges. We're sure you'll enjoy your new trees and happy planting.